Good evening, community, and welcome to the Power Hour that takes place on the third Thursday of each month. I am excited to have you here. We'll take just a moment or two to give everyone a chance to arrive, and then we're going to get into the topic of 4 levels of awareness, why it's so important for us, and how we can use it as a tool to take our power back. So we'll get started in just a moment. I'm not sure about you guys, but it is spring at my house. I live just outside of Toronto, Ontario, Canada, in a beautiful little town called Port Perry. I live on Scugog Island. And so we get such extreme weather here just because of what comes off of the lake. But I'm getting so excited for spring. My birthday is the entire month of March. And so in the cosmic calendar, we each follow our own season. And so I'm ending my winter of hibernation and I'm coming into my spring energy of creativity, and I can really feel that, and I'm getting really excited for that. So I am looking forward to the next 2 weeks, which is vacation for me. I always take the 2 weeks before my birthday to truly embody and embrace the hibernation energy that is required for creative to be such an important part for me. And so in saying that, I will not be doing the Thursday open your mind sessions for the next 2 weeks, but I will be back in full creative mode on April 2nd. So I look forward to seeing you guys then. Okay, let's get started. Welcome everyone. It's great to see you all here. As I mentioned a few minutes ago, our discussion tonight is going to be about the 4 levels of awareness. I'm going to begin with, why do I call this the Power Hour? My purpose on this planet is as a spiritual Zenagogue. I am the translator of the Human Being User Manual, a series of light codes and keys that are locked in your cellular memory. And I'm the tour guide of the human experience. I believe that it is essential that we embrace and embody being human. Yes, absolutely true. We are spirit energy having a human experience, and we chose this timeline. And so we are here to fully embrace and embody it. In this theory that we all have within us, this human being user manual, it comes with very, very specific parts. The first is that we all come here with the intention and the understanding that Earth energy is made of the natural law of polarity, that there must be a positive and a negative energy. Our power is our positive polarity. Our trigger is our negative polarity. Think of our power as our light work of the experience of joy and love being human. But our trigger is our shadow work. And for too long, we've thought of that as bad or negative, but it is the only pathway to our power energy. And so what I want to be teaching in this hour, and why I've called this the Power Hour, is all of the intellectual, human-based things that our mind needs to understand so that we can live in our power, to take our power back. And there are 3 key pieces to that. The first, our soul and ego are meant to work together. Our soul is our breath, our ego is our imagination. That is how we create our reality, breathing our thoughts into reality. The second is that we all have an innate biofield that is 3 very specific energetic brains that need to be recharged by being consciously aware of them. The pineal, which is the God brain, the heart, which is soul's brain, and the biome located at the hara or the dantian, that is the body's brain. So when we focus on these things, that we have a power and a trigger, that soul and ego are one energy working in alignment, and that we have an innate biofield, we are able to embody this power energy that I speak of. And so tonight, our topic is going to be the 4 levels of awareness. This is important for a couple reasons. First of all, everything that happens on this timeline must happen first mentally. We must think it in order for it to be created, for it to be real. This creation is governed by the natural law or the hermetic principle of mentalism. And tonight, our lesson is going to break down how mentalism works and exactly how we level up our conscious awareness. I want you to imagine that everything needs to be understood from an intellectual perspective before it's going to be created. But it has to be felt emotionally in order for that creation to come into awareness. And if we think of our ego as our mind and our imagination, and we think of our soul as our emotion and our breath, we can see how creating reality can become rather simple. I'm wanting to teach you about the 4 levels of awareness because there's one key phrase that I would like to embrace, and it's the idea of leveling up. When we are at the very bottom of any experience and we're climbing our way to the mountaintop, we are moving through these 4 levels of awareness. Our purpose isn't to climb to the top of the mountain and stay there. It's to gather all of the lessons along the way. And this intellectual process that I'm about to share with you, the 4 levels of awareness, is exactly how you flow through leveling up, whether you're aware of it or not. But if you become aware of it, you can easily level up in minutes, hours, or days instead of months or years. And so let me go through those 4 pieces just quickly, and then we'll come back and talk about why they're important, how we level up, and dive deeper into them. So the first step, stairs or landing, is called unconscious incompetence. It's where every new idea, thought, feeling, or experience begins. We don't know that we don't know that we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen 3 minutes from now. We don't know 3 seconds, but let's pretend in minutes. When we're in a state of unconscious incompetence, I want you to imagine that this is the beginning of leveling up, of learning, experiencing, and feeling. When we get stuck in unconscious incompetence, we become immobilized. We literally have no desire to learn, to heal, to grow, to share, or to prosper. Or we have been chained and shackled to that level. The example that I love to share is of the elephant in the circus story. When an elephant is first trapped and taken to the circus, they're shackled by one of their feet. A long spike is driven into the ground, and the chain that's attached to the shackle on their ankle keeps them there, and they fight. They fight hard. They don't want to be trapped there. But after a little while, they stop resisting. And then eventually they give in to that is their plight. And the circus owner takes that spike out, removes the shackle from the elephant's ankle, and it never strays any farther than that chain. Competence looks and feels like. We don't know that we don't know, so we don't know. But we're so used to not knowing that we just become compliant. But what happens is it starts to stir inside of us. Our true self wants out. All of the pieces of our divine assignment are pushing us to move into our highest good, and we level up. We don't necessarily recognize it in that moment or even the first few times it happens because it's so subtle, but it's very often explained as painful, as suffering. It can even be the dark night of the soul. And what that does is it shifts us into the next level. This is conscious incompetence. We know that we don't know, but we want to know. And we start to get curious and excited. We start searching, researching, entertaining different perspectives and points of view. We start attracting ourselves to different people and communities. We start gathering information that starts to feed our soul, and we begin to feel excited and alive again. And in this moment, we recognize that we're stuck. If we also choose to go into a state of learning and of healing and of sharing, two things happen. Two very important things happen here in conscious incompetence. We recognize what it looks and feels like to not know that we don't know. We recognize that we have elevated into another consciousness, a way in which was not present for us in the open up the magical door of what's possible, of what's next, of what could we possibly learn. These resources, and we learn and we start to heal and we share, we level to the third stage. This third stage is magnificent and sometimes addictive. And the downfall here is we get stuck. We get super comfortable again. This third level is called conscious competence. We know what we know, and we're really comfortable in that awareness. We've become a master in some way, at some small degree. That information has become who we are and what we do. The challenge with being in conscious competence is that sometimes we get so zoned in on what we know and of our perspective, that we start to get uncomfortable. And in that moment of discomfort, we literally the top of the mountain. This location isn't where we're meant to live. We visit there to gather that one piece of information that says to us, we know nothing. We are actually unconsciously incompetent. This fourth and final resting place is conscious competence. All of a sudden, we don't have to think about the tools that we've collected. We, at a subconscious, conscious, naturally have the ability to utilize all of those skills without having to bring our mind into it. But in that moment, at the top of the mountain, we have to make a really important decision. And when we don't, that decision is made for us. Unconscious, competent mountain, we have to decide that we're capable of flying. and we need to choose to jump off of that mountain. The reality of it is we're not actually going to fly. We're going to jump to the next mountain, the next challenge, the next area of education. And the big piece of that is that mountain starts where the last mountain ends. And so where do we find ourselves? In unconscious incompetence. We don't know because we didn't know that we didn't know this. But we move through that same process. We become consciously incompetent. We know we don't know about this mountain, but we want to know it. And then we become consciously competent. Did I just say that? Yes, consciously competent. Then we become unconsciously competent. And what happens is we keep leveling up. But if we get stuck in that comfort and we want to stay at that top of the mountain and we resist, what happens is the universe comes along and it very gently gives us a nudge. A person, a place, a thing, a scene, situation, or scenario that creates a little bit of discomfort. If we don't pay attention, it becomes pain. If not, disease and dysfunction. We literally get pushed off of the mountain. Instead of taking that leap, hoping to fly and landing, we start to fall. And it feels like it's a long, dangerous way down. But on the way down, we spread our wings and we move to the next mountain. You are always going to move through this process. You are always going to move through those 4 points. Each level of awareness, of conscious awareness, is going to begin unconsciously incompetent, and then move into conscious incompetence, and then move into conscious competence, and then move into unconscious competence. No exception. And so if we do not resist that we're being pushed in a direction that we were not ready or comfortable in going in, but knowing that it's in our highest good to jump off the mountain, we're going to move to a new range, a new level of awareness. And this is where we are all at right now. Each of us are in a different location with different information, but we are climbing this mountain because we want to know. And each of those mountains have ways in which we can share and connect as a community. And that's essentially what Divinate is for you. It is a community that holds all of the mountains in high esteem, giving opportunities to learn anything from whoever you want to learn from, to share your wisdom with the world. This is the community that we have created here just by showing up. And it's why the Power Hour was created, so that we have tools of recognition of developing these 4 levels of awareness. Why are they so important? Because with or without your awareness, you are always moving through these 4 stages. And you can be moving through them on different things at different times. In one moment, I can be unconsciously incompetent about this, but be consciously competent about this and unconsciously competent about that. Think of a child learning to walk. They don't believe that they can walk. They have no idea that walking is a thing. And then all of a sudden, one day, they get really curious as to why all of those bigger people get to move with such freedom. And they want to know. And they start to learn to walk. And at first, it's wobbly, but they pay attention and they use the resources to hold them up, and they want independence. They don't want to be carried anymore. And then all of a sudden, one day, they're walking. We don't have to think, I shouldn't say that. Most of us don't have to think about walking. That is unconscious competence. We just walk. One of the things that should be unconscious incompetence is breathing. But guess what? A lot of us are in unconscious incompetence. We don't breathe. We hold our breath. Our physical body and our spirit energy isn't activating the innate biofield. We aren't charging our own batteries. We are literally unconsciously incompetent in breathing. There are so many ways in which we're able to level up. But when we do it through awareness of where am I at right now, I want you to imagine that this is one of the most important questions that you can always ask yourself. And I love to use a scale of awareness, but the question, where am I at right now? When you feel frustrated and overwhelmed, when you feel disconnected, sad and lonely, when you don't feel grounded, when you don't feel supported, ask yourself, where am I at right now in my awareness? But also, where are those around me in their awareness? When you're in conscious competence, you know that you know and you just know. You cannot be supported by someone who is in unconscious incompetence. They don't know that they don't know, and they certainly don't know what you know. And so expecting of them to be where you're at is impossible. But also, it's important that you don't continue to meet them where they are at. You can't keep climbing down the mountain. You are not going to learn the elevated experience or lesson if you keep going back to help them. What I mean by that is when you lead by example, when you open your heart and share energetically the wisdom of the level you're at without criticism and judgment, without shame, without demand, you literally open your heart and you let that wisdom pull them up, then you are not expending your energy to make them be, do, or have what you need from them. You give them permission to work at their own pace. And this is true of you to others who are at a higher awareness. And do not get me wrong, a higher awareness does not mean better. What is in my conscious competence may not be in yours. What's in yours may not be in mine. It's why we also need to seek like-minded community, because we all have to have a well-rounded depth of experience, wisdom, and knowledge. But we also need to surround ourselves with those who share our thoughts, feelings, and experiences. This is why understanding these 4 levels of awareness is so important, because your entire reality is based on the way that you're experiencing it from the perspective of this awareness. When you are in unconscious incompetence, it can be physically and intuitively numbing. It is what we call spiritual disconnection. You are uninspired. You are most likely self-sabotaging. You're unable to ask for help from yourself or others. And you're likely now stuck in the low physical vibration of anxiety, which is projecting too far into the future without the information or the safety net of conscious competence. Or you're angry. You're projecting too far into the past and you're stuck in depression. The body has no way of supporting all of this heaviness of lack of awareness. Imagine that being conscious of where you are at is also the invitation to learn. It's the ability to know that you want to take each step. Yep, in some cases, there are elevators. You can get on that fast track. You can get in the elevator and you can go right up to conscious competence. But guess what? You didn't collect the tools that you needed on the way. And so you aren't going to move into unconscious competence. You aren't going to be able to elevate yourself enough to move to the next mountain. You are literally going to be stuck. And so the tools along the way are our experiences, but they are also the ability to pay attention to the luminosities, the illuminosities, the coincidences, the serendipities. When you take these stairs, you're going to find a plethora of tools. Pay attention to what comes into your conscious awareness. Let me use this analogy. If you're on this path of if you're on this path of conscious incompetence and you're so curious and you want to learn, you may be walking the path and you see this rusty handle on the side of the path. You don't know because you're in unconscious competence that your attention got drawn to that handle. It's important. You're going to still be in the state of, oh, that rusty handle, why would I want that? Whereas the person beside you picks that up and says, oh, thank you. And they tuck it into their resources backpack. And as they move along that path and they get up into conscious competence, all of a sudden they find a rusty sword blade. And they realize, in my resources, I have a handle. And they put that sword blade and that handle together and it lights up and it turns into this beautiful blue flame. And all of a sudden, you have all of the resources you need to protect you in unconscious competence. Think of life like that. When we're in unconscious incompetence, we are collecting no tools. We are frozen on that level of not knowing. But the rest of the way, there will be tools. There will be resources. They're going to come in the form of people, places, things, scenes, situations, and scenarios that catch your attention. Know that that is not for no reason. And learn discernment. Not everything is for you. Not everyone is for you. This is one of the most important reasons I believe that we need to know our human being user manual. In that, we have a divine assignment. We have a specific way of creating. We have a path that's right for us, and we have a navigation type. When we have this information, we are in alignment when we connect with people. Not out of a state of judgment, but of a state of conscious competence or even unconscious competence. We just know. We have the ability to sit in that person, place, thing, scene, situation, scenario, to feel out or to think of what all of the potential is, the potential that we can contribute to, but the potential for us to be able to receive. One of the most detrimental and poisonous or toxic effects of unconscious incompetence is that we've forgotten how to receive. We give to the point that we are detrimental to our own selves because we give to everyone but ourselves. We've actually been trained to believe that it's selfish to take care of ourselves, to seek out our own luminosities. This is part of the poison that happens at unconscious incompetence. One of the ways that we can see clearly this path, these 4 levels of awareness, is by activating our innate biofield. I did share with you a little bit earlier about what that is, and each week in Open Your Mind, which I do, I was doing it on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live here in the Divinate community, but I will for sure be doing it on Thursdays, is I channel what the collective energy at its lowest vibration is projecting. and then I do an innate biofield activation. And the purpose for this is that when we are in a state of consciously being competent about the vibration of the external world, we can decline. We can not consent to that energy affecting our elevation through conscious awareness. But if we don't know what the collective energetic vibration is, we can very easily get caught up in it. So those Thursday sessions are about what that vibration is in the moment and a treatment called the Innate Biofield, which we're going to do today, right now almost. When we do this Innate Biofield, I want you to imagine that its purpose is to take your power back. Within your cellular memory, there is an innate key, a light energy that is guiding you. This power energy is what you're here to learn about. And if you don't have your human being user manual, then you need to find ways in order to explore what this thriving, vibrant energy is. If you want to know the way there, so the 3 divine assignments and the fear stories that are the trigger energies, I offer that in something called the Soul Reveal Reading. For you guys, it's $79. It's regularly $179, but its purpose is to give you the map to your timeline, to why you chose to come here now. I want you to imagine that anyone born in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, or 80s, we came to this timeline hoping that we would elevate into 5th dimensional conscious awareness. And we were willing to go through all of the trials and the tribulations, all of the trauma that buries our fear stories, buries our love stories, buries our purpose, because we wanted to be part of the solution. That's what we're doing here. We're learning to uncover our power energy, so we stand in it, we learn, we allow ourselves to get triggered by our fear stories, because that is how we elevate through these 4 levels of awareness. When we don't know that we don't know, someone is going to come along and trigger us. And that trigger is not a punishment. It's asking us to cleanse and purify our innate biofield. It's asking us to recharge our batteries. It's asking us to take ownership of our power so that we can stand in who we said we were going to be when we came to this timeline. I am going to do an innate biofield treatment for you guys tonight. And anyone listening to the recording, you will also receive this energy. I will place it in Hanshaze Shonen, which is a no space and time envelope in which everything can be received in the moment that you become consciously aware that it exists. But also, I am going to tell you about my Take Your Power Back course. It is $179 on my site. I offer it for $79 as a discount, but you guys get it for $37. And what it does is it takes you through a 21-day process of learning how to activate your own innate biofield, to experience what it feels like to have your heart energy full, to create a bridge to your pineal energy, and to create a bridge to your biome energy. When these 3 brains are acting in concert, you are directly connected through your Hara line to your Akashic records. That information is being fed into your body brain. Your body is sharing that information with soul and ego to use to navigate soul from inside, navigate ego from outside. This 21-day program is complete with a lesson, a meditation, a 21-day email prompting you and encouraging you. And it also has an 8-part chakra course that teaches you how to listen to your physical body that is always, in every given moment, sending messages from soul to ego. But for now, what I would like to do is ask for your permission to download into your biofield, your innate biofield, the keys and codes that activate your levels of conscious awareness. This is going to be guided meditation style, and in it, I am going to activate heart, build a bridge to pineal, activate pineal, build a bridge back to heart. Activate biome, build a bridge from heart to biome, activate biome, build a bridge back to heart, and then cleanse and purify your bioenergetic fields, the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. Before I do that, let me see if there are any questions. Does anyone have any questions, any concerns, any ideas, anything that you need from me today to understand how important understanding these 4 levels of awareness at an intellectual state is for your spirit energy having a human experience? Oh, thank you for my birthday wishes. Thank you, Steph and Jody. Thank you, Dale. Any questions, concerns, or ideas? Okay, perfect. This recording will be available in your Divinate portal. Please watch it again from the perspective of understanding exactly how to traverse this mountain called human lesson, and then to elevate and extend yourself to the next lesson and the next and the next. Let's find a comfortable position. Your ankles and knees are never bound through one another. When we cross our ankles, we are locking out our heart meridians. We're literally crossing our energy instead of allowing the current to flow. When we cross our knees over one another, we're literally locking root chakra. We may not be letting anything out, but we're also not letting anything in, or vice versa. We may not be letting anything in, but we're not letting anything out. It's very important that your Akashic energy flows through you, within you, all around you, and outside of you. So we want to always make sure our ankles and knees are unbound. If you're sitting cross-legged, that's fine. Or if you're sitting in the chair, just open your legs slightly to create that flow of energy moving through you, within you, and around you. Your eyes are closed so that you have an internal experience. You're connecting to your breath, inhaling and exhaling. Let's do 3 deep inhalations and exhalations through the nose as I ask your permission to clear any entities, attachments, and non-beneficial energies. Beautiful. On your next exhalation, Use your breath and your imagination to drop into the center of your chest. If it serves you, you can place your hands there, one above the other. Bring your awareness to the heat behind your hands and your breath moving in and out of heart center. Giving yourself permission to receive the activation of heart energy, the ability to give and to receive love with ease, to embody kindness and compassion with self first, and allow that to flow out onto others. On an inhalation, imagine creating a bridge from your heart energy to your third eye, the center of your forehead. Should you choose to place one of your hands or fingers at that area, please use the middle finger of that hand. Feel the heat from your heart moving up your arm to the very end of your finger, activating your pineal, your God mind, connecting you directly to your Akashic records, to all timelines, lifetimes, and dimensions that this soul exists in. Downloading the keys and the light codes of your divine assignment, remembering who you are and why you're here. Give yourself permission to accept this transmission. And on an exhalation, imagine drawing a bridge with that hand as it moves back to heart along the opposite side of the body. As you exhale, use your breath and imagination to drop into your biome, your hand resting at Hara, the Dantian, just behind but below your belly button. Should you choose to place your hand there, exhale and drop into feeling the warmth of your hand on your body. As we activate the biome, we ask the microbes to restore, to revitalize, to take back the life force energy this body needs. We activate the muscles, the tissues, the bones, the ligaments, the cells, and the organs, aligning them in divine order, communicating with one another, doing their own work honestly. Giving yourself permission to receive this activation. And on an exhalation, bringing that hand up the opposite side of the body, building a bridge back to heart. In your imagination, know that your God brain has connected you to cosmic intelligence. Your heart aligns body, ego, and soul in this individual experience. And your biome grounds you to Mother Earth. You are grounded, open, and connected. You are protected. Your biofields are cleansed and purified. Staying connected to your breath. Take a few moments to be in this activated biofield. Allow it to move out of your body and to fill the room that you're in. And for just a few moments, we'll sit in silence, embodying this activation. With your eyes still closed, please give thanks in any way that you wish to. These are the words that I share. As an energy worker, I give thanks for this activation as I know it is so. We give thanks, we let it be so, and so it is. Again, with your eyes still closed, please move your body in any way that you need to release my energy from yours, creating a sacred container in your innate biofield that is for your highest good. When you're ready, you'll gently, slowly open your eyes. If you are guided to journal, please don't just journal on what you perceived happened, but what you're going to do with this new level of awareness, what it's going to create. Please know that I did do a little bit of psychic surgery, and should you choose to receive that with your permission, you will. This psychic surgery will have an effect. It's a 3-day cycle. The first 24 hours is going to be physical. Burping, farting, sneezing, laughing, coughing, crying, yawning. This is releasing old stories that were stuck in your innate biofield and no longer serve you. The 24 hours after that, you will experience emotional and mental disentanglement. Your feelings will become your feelings and reconnect to soul. Your thoughts will become your thoughts and reconnect to ego. And you will be thinking what you think and feeling what you feel. In the final 24 hours, the neural pathways of your brain have reconnected to your heart and your biome. Your whole infrastructure has shifted into a new frequency and vibration, a new level of awareness. Imagine, or even better, give yourself permission to be in unconscious incompetence for even a moment, to know that you've got to break free, to give yourself permission to elevate into conscious incompetence. You know that you don't know, but you are open to receive whatever is in your highest good. And then be curious. I am so grateful to have had you with me this evening. I look forward to being able to continue the Thursday at 1:30 and these third Thursday sessions. If you have any questions, concerns, or ideas, please don't hesitate to reach out. Traci, Traci, at tracitrimble.ca. Please be patient with me. I will get back to you as quickly as possible. Anyone who tried to use a link or reach out to me in the last 7 days, please know that our site crashed. We had to rebuild and reconnect our links, and I haven't been able to get to my emails, but I will get back to you. I know that you have received exactly what you need. Give yourself permission to embody the good, the bad, the beautiful, and the ugly, because they are all part of this incredible journey called human being. I thank you so much for being with me. I am very grateful to have this opportunity to be the teacher. Namaste. Good night.